is another way to RV life. I guess RV life should be our inspiration to get out of the things that are not making us happy. Said, well, that's cheating. Sell the house, put 5,000 watts of solar and expect or wait for YouTube to make you rich. I don't understand the shaming that a lot of people receive when, call it cheating, call it whatever you want, because you, unlike me, can afford it. I've heard some people that the sticks and bricks is like the worst case scenario. They don't need to know how many times he pees. Or I see it as a downside. It means that you need to find out, based on the information that you have, what is the best move for you. I like to get inspired by other people's stories, but I always like to follow my heart and what I think it's going to work for us. This is an adventure, but it's going to be a completely different one compared to the regular RV channels. Channel. Today I am going to talk to you about our cheating way of RV life. Now, as I mentioned in a previous video, we're gonna start full-timing in this summer 2019, but we are doing it a little bit different compared as most people here that share their stories on YouTube. I feel like there's a point where people decide to sell their houses, sell everything that they own, and move into something that they feel will be comfortable to travel around the country. Now, we would love to do that, but we also know that we are a little bit different. I knew that the idea of traveling is amazing. I knew that the idea of living a simple lifestyle, it's incredible with RV life. But at the same time, I knew I wanted a place to call home. I wanted a place where my kids, once they move out, they can go and visit, and they can have a place where they're like, they can come back to. They have roots somewhere. And what better place to be in nature? And you know, living, and I'm going to do a video of some of the misconceptions in RV life, because we've been doing these longer trips, and I've been realizing a lot of things that people say when they start full-time RVing that really not necessarily apply to us as a family. Like the fact that, yes, traveling with pets is amazing and it's an experience, but if you're a responsible pet owner, it means that your dog, it's going to be on a leash most of the time while it's outside. And I see it as a downside, because my dogs are used to having a yard. My dogs are used to running around. I don't need to know how many times he pees, or I don't need. So there are some things that you will learn along the way, and there are some things that I learned along the way, and I think they're very important to be said if anybody of you out there are thinking about going into this lifestyle. And I don't know if it's silly that I think that way. I think that I need a place to go home. I need a place where I can let the dogs out and they can roam around and they can be happy and they can, you know, and yes, you can do that in national forests, but it's not a place that I can call home itself. And you don't know who they're going to encounter. If they're going to encounter a bear, a squirrel, and they're going to chase it, a coyote, and they're going to be eaten by, you know, the herd of coyotes, you don't know. There's a lot of people that trust their animals to be smart about it. I don't. I think it's part of me as a mom that I think I am the one responsible for their well-being as pets and as part of our family. So there's a lot of things that I do not share with people that leave their dogs be outside. There are some times where I just drop the leash, and so they have the leash on and they will be roaming around, they will be playing frisbee, and they will be doing things close by, but I can't really let them go around the forest and do things. And I feel like having a home is that, no? It's a place that you can call your own. It's a place where you can be yourself, and it's a place that you can set the boundaries for you, your family, and what you want out of life. This is an adventure, but it's going to be a completely different one compared to the regular RV channels. I like to get inspired by other people's stories, but I always like to follow my heart and what I think it's going to work for us. So even though going full-time RVing was an inspiration after I found this community, that's what it is, an inspiration. Because I know what my family needs. I know what I need. I know what I want. And I know exactly how to do it now that I found that you can live a simple life, that you don't need that much, and that some people live their entire lives just going through the motions without realizing that they can be happy while they're going through the motions. If you've been following big RV YouTubers, you know that most of them are either buying a house, a cabin, land, or buying something that they can call home. I've heard some people that the sticks and bricks is like the worst case scenario. That is the worst thing you can have, a house, and go full-time RVing. I'm like, if you can keep a house and go full-time RVing, you do you. Because you, unlike me, can afford it. So if I don't understand the shaming that a lot of people receive when that's their situation. They keep a house, but they RV most of the year. Nothing wrong with that. If you can afford to keep your house and go full-time RVing, the more power to you. But I feel like it becomes like a horrible thing for most people in the RV community. You can't own a house. Why? What is it so bad? You buy a house, you get equity. I couldn't have bought my other property if it wasn't because I've been living in this house for the last 14 years. I couldn't have done it because I would have never saved the money that I got out of the house. Now that I'm selling it, I'm using that money to build something comfortable in our new property. And that is because we own this house. So what's wrong with owning a house? There's nothing wrong with owning a house. And I think it's a good investment. And if you want to full-time RV and you can find the perfect property for an affordable price, something that you can pay cash, there are ways that you can live debt-free. You can live a simple life. You can have all the freedom that you want to do the things that you enjoy. If you want to be in nature, if you want to travel, if you want to backpack, if you want to go in your RV, just so you know, selling your house doesn't mean that you have to get rid of all your possessions and go RVing. It's getting very, very dark. There's a storm coming. But it means that you need to find out, based on the information that you have, what is the best move for you. Are you 60 years old and you feel like you want to do this for as long as possible, but you want a place to call home? If you needed it in the future, there are alternatives, and all I'm saying is that you should explore alternatives. Somebody said, well, that's cheating. Call it cheating. Call it whatever you want. If there are rules to full-time RVing, maybe I am cheating. But if that's going to make me happy in the end, having the garden that I want to have during the summertime, spending my summers in Oregon without having to pay for, hookups and stay in a state park, but stay in my property that feels like I'm in nature, well, I guess I'm cheating. But I don't care. I don't mind. And that's the message I want to send to you today. There is another way to RV life. I guess RV life should be our inspiration to get out of the things that are not making us happy. And if you're watching this video and you're not full-timing right now, there is something that is piquing your interest. There is something that you know you can do. So please don't follow the herd and do what they do. Sell the house, put 5,000 watts of solar, and expect or wait for YouTube to make you rich, or a website, or if you're not the adventurous kind who is like, okay, I'm gonna do it and whatever happens, happens. Just so you know, there is an alternative. There's a plan that you can do. There's a thing, something different that you can do for you and not follow what everyone else is doing. Not that they're wrong, because I think that if they sold their things and they moved out and they're, a lot of people are being successful with their YouTube channel, with the blogs, with books that they've written, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I just want you to know, that's not you, if that's not the person that you are, then please use RV Life as an inspiration to change your life, to use the resources that you have, and then use them in a way that you know will be a solution for you in the long term. Because if you're 60 years old and you want to start full-time RVing, it will be a different story than if you were 20 years old and getting out of a 2-year degree of college and becoming a digital nomad. There are different stages in our lives, and we have to decide what is best for us depending where we are. I hope that you stay tuned. I have a video almost ready to share with you some of the things that I believe are RV lies or that really don't apply to us. And there's some how-to videos, some tips and things that I learned around that maybe will help you. I've never seen them anywhere. I kind of discovered them by making a lot of mistakes. So I will share that in another video. I think I'm going to call it hacks. And I'm also going to show you the process of the new property and how it's going to change from this beautiful wooded 2.5 acres lot to what we're going to call home and what we're going to call our peace in this world. So I hope that you join me in this journey. Thank you so much for being there, guys, and I will see you back here hopefully soon. I will be recording a few of those videos that I mentioned today tomorrow.